Hi everybody, it's me, Miss Norris, and today we are going to be reading a story called Shivers from the book Days with Frog and Toad. And this is a story about how sometimes scary things aren't quite so scary when you have a friend to be scared with. And in fact, sometimes being scared can be fun, like when you go on a roller coaster or tell a ghost story. Here we go. I'll show you the picture. Shivers. The night was cold and dark. "Listen to the wind howling in the trees," said Frog. "What a fine time for a ghost story." Toad moved deeper into his chair. "Toad," asked Frog, "don't you like to be scared? Don't you like to feel the shivers?" I'm not too sure," said Toad. Frog made a fresh pot of tea. He sat down and began a story. So you can see Frog. Frog is the green, taller character, and Toad is the smaller, rounder character. And they're having some tea and getting ready to tell some ghost stories, I think. Sorry. "When I was small," said Frog, "my mother and father and I went out for a picnic. On the way home, we lost our way. My mother was worried. 'We must get home,' she said. 'We do not want to meet the old dark frog.' 'Who is that?' I asked. 'Oh, a terrible ghost,' said my father. 'He comes out at night and eats little frog children for supper.'" Toad sipped his tea. "Frog," he asked, "are you making this up?" "Maybe yes and maybe no," said Frog. So I'll give you a little close-up. Here's Frog and his family on a picnic. I know I like to go on a picnic. It seems like a lot of fun. And here's a picture of Toad. He's starting to get more and more scared, and he's just sipping his tea. "My mother and father went to search for a path," said Frog. "They told me to wait until they came back. I sat under a tree and I waited. The woods became dark. I was afraid. Then I saw two huge eyes. It was the old dark frog, and he was standing right near me." So first I'll show you. Here's Frog sitting under the tree, and he's waiting, listening to his mom and dad, when all of a sudden, the old dark frog shows up. Look how big he is compared to Frog. I'd be scared too. "Frog," asked Toad, "did that really happen?" "Maybe it did, and maybe it didn't," said Frog. Frog went on with the story. The dark frog pulled a jump rope out of his pocket. "I'm not hungry now," said the dark frog. "I've eaten too many tasty frog children. But after I jump rope 100 times, I will be hungry again. Then I will eat you." Woo! So here's a picture of Frog and Toad talking to one another and being very scared together. And a picture of the old dark frog and his jump rope. I didn't know frogs could jump rope, but I guess it makes sense. They're really good jumpers. The dark frog tied one end of the rope to a tree. "Turn for me!" he shouted. I turned the rope for the dark frog. He jumped 20 times. "I'm beginning to get hungry," said the dark frog. He I'll show you that picture of, look at that old dark frog jumping. 20 times. I bet the earth shook. He jumped 50 times. I'm getting hungrier, said the dark frog. He jumped 90 times. I'm very hungry now, said the dark frog. Now, you guys know that 90 is not very far away from 100, and he's almost there. What happened then? Asked Toad. Well, I had to save my life, said Frog. I ran around and around the tree with the rope. I tied up the old dark frog. He roared and screamed, and I ran away. So I'll show you Toad looking very, very worried. And Frog has just tied up the old dark frog to the tree. And it looks like, look at the old dark frog's face. Doesn't he look like he's pretty surprised that he got tricked? You should be careful who you ask to turn your rope. I found my mother and father, said Frog, and we came safely home. Frog, asked Toad, was that a true story? Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. So I'll show you the picture of Frog and his family running home. They finally got home safely. Frog and Toad sat close by the fire. They were scared. Their teacups shook in their hands. They were having the shivers. It was a good, warm feeling. The end. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you really enjoyed the story, The Shivers, and I hope it gives you time to think about times when being scared can be fun. Tune in next time. Bye.